cheating wife under the influence of the devil. He is the 100 names of terror, the creature you love least in the world. Picture his name before you and cast out the monster. The creature moved invisible and inaudible, given all the options available in a crowded nightclub. The gender of the victim didn't really matter, as the creature was neither male nor female and could pass for either at any given time, depending on its mood. All that really mattered was the flexibility of the target. This is it, the creature thought as she spotted a young, charming woman in a short red dress. She seemed like a happy creature dancing with various men in a noisy club. The presence of a wedding ring was even better. The creature slid forward and watched the woman chatting with different men and those flirting with her. It chuckled to itself as it watched the woman reject the advances of several handsome young men. Very nice, the creature thought to itself. I can hide out here for a while. While I'm here, maybe I can corrupt her. It moved closer to her and synchronized its movements with hers. Soon it began the process of merging with her, and after a few moments it completely dissolved into her body, and she didn't even realize what had happened. As the woman moved around, the creature familiarized itself with its new home. The woman's name was Carrie Hampton, and she was here with some friends from her office for a bachelorette party that she held once or twice a month just to blow off steam. She'd been married to a computer guy named Bill for almost 5 years and was still completely faithful to him. This won't last long, the creature thought angrily. Hi, Carrie. It's only about 9 o'clock, and I promised George I'd be home by 10 o'clock, the other woman said as she approached Carrie. Okay, I'm coming, Carrie called out before saying goodbye to the two men vying for her attention. The creature stood idly by while Carrie returned home with her friend and made love to her husband. This was around mid-October, the day before our 5th anniversary. I watched my wife as she got ready for another bachelorette party, upset that she was leaving for a party on our anniversary. I had made reservations for the evening at Luigi's, a fairly upscale Italian restaurant, but Carrie said she wanted to go out with the girls instead. But it's our 5th anniversary weekend, I told her. Do you know how hard it is to get a reservation at Luigi's? So reschedule it for tomorrow night, she said, waving me off with a wave of her hand. I can't just switch at the last minute, I told her. I had to wait almost 2 weeks to get a reservation. Look, it's just a restaurant, she said. I promised the girls I'd go with them, and that's what I intend to do. You've been going out with the girls quite a lot lately, I said. This will be the 3rd night this week. What's going on? Why would you want to go out with them on our anniversary? The thing is, I promised them I'd come. You know, I need my privacy too. The office has been a little turbulent lately, and I need it. Now stop whining and zipper me up, okay? Zip yourself up, I said irritably before leaving the bedroom. I went downstairs, grabbed the flowers I'd bought for her that day, and angrily threw them in the trash can. Damn it, I thought to myself. Why did you do that? I heard behind me. When I turned around, I saw Carrie standing at the bottom of the stairs. I loved those flowers. They were beautiful. I bought them for our anniversary, I said, but you made it clear that the girls were more important than us and our 5th anniversary. What the hell has been going on with you the last few weeks? What do you mean? She asked. You've become a completely different person lately, I said. I don't even know you. Do you have someone else? She snorted at that. Maybe I just need some privacy, she grinned. And no, there's no one else. More. It wasn't that there weren't any offers. There had been. After the way you've been acting, though, I might agree to 1 or 2 of them. What? I asked, shocked. Carrie knows how I feel about adultery. We've discussed it often enough. She knows that, in my opinion, it would be done once and for all. Would you cheat on me? I might, especially after what you just did, she said with a smirk. I felt the anger boiling up inside me and counted to 10 before I did something I knew I would regret. If you do, don't bother coming home, I said as I calmed down. That seemed to get her attention, and her attitude changed considerably. Look, I'm sorry, she said. You just pissed me off when you threw away my flowers. It's just for one night. We can still go out tomorrow. But the table is booked in advance. Take Ginny with you if you're determined to go, she said. Your sister? I asked. Ginny was only 11 months younger than Carrie, and I knew she had a crush on me. Yes, she'd love to eat at Luigi's, Carrie said. I'll call her if you want. I started to object, but Carrie had already pulled out her phone and called her sister. Hey, girl, she said. Do you have anything planned for tonight? No? How would you feel about having dinner with Bill at Luigi's tonight? I don't know. Let me ask you. She covered the phone and looked at me. What time is the reservation for? 7 o'clock tonight, I told her. She turned back to the phone again. The reservation is for 7 o'clock. Can you be ready in, say, half an hour? Great. I'll have Bill pick you up. I'll see you then, she said, ending the call. She put the phone back in her purse and looked at me. Well, you better hurry up. Ginny's waiting for you, and I hope you're on your best behavior. Have fun. I'll see you later tonight. That's when I heard a car horn outside. That's my car. I should probably get going. She grabbed her purse and headed for the door. What time will you be home? I asked. I don't know exactly, she said. I'll be home when I get back. How about it? And with those words, she walked out the door without even kissing me or telling me that she loved me. I couldn't believe what had just happened. I called my big brother, Ron. Hey, bro, what's up? He asked. That idiot just went to her girlfriend's. Can you believe it? Did you tell her about the reservation at Luigi's? He asked. Yes, but it didn't mean anything to her, I said. She actually called her sister to take her place. Jeannie, you know she's been drooling over you for a while now. Won't even look at me. Are you going to take advantage of that? Are you kidding me? No way. Look, Jeannie's a very nice girl, but I'm not going to do that to Carrie. Okay, laughs. So what are you going to do? I installed the location app on Carrie's phone like you suggested. Do you think you could keep an eye on her for me? I asked. We'd discussed it earlier, when Carrie's attitude had gotten so bad that I was ready to snap. Ron used to work for the police department, but lost his job after the city government cut the police budget. He now works as a private investigator for one of the largest and most prominent firms in the city. I guess I could do it, he said, but it would cost you a 6-pack of beer. Do it for me and I'll buy you a carton, I said. Well, I guess I'd better do a good job for you then, huh? He asked sarcastically. I couldn't help but laugh. Don't worry about it, bro. Leave it to a professional. Take Jeannie out and have a good time. I'll be in touch. Thanks, bro. I owe you big time, I said. You're damn right, he said with a laugh. I'll talk to you later. We finished talking, and I got ready for what was to be my and Carrie's anniversary date. I drove up to the apartment complex where Ginny lived and knocked on her door. I was stunned when she opened it. She was wearing a dress just above her knees, exposing just enough skin to make me drool. It was sexy, but not slutty. After a few moments, I had to remind myself to breathe. So, what do you think? She asked. You look absolutely gorgeous, I said. Your carriage is waiting, I added, offering her my hand. Thank you, kind sir, she said with a smile. For a moment, I regretted being married. I walked her to my car and opened the door for her. After helping her inside, I got behind the wheel and headed towards the restaurant. So why don't you take Carrie out? Isn't this your 5th anniversary weekend? She asked as I drove the car. Yes, it was, I said. Carrie decided she'd rather spend our anniversary weekend with the girls, I said, saying, with the girls in quotation marks. What's gotten into her lately? Jeannie asked. I have no idea, I replied, but I don't like it, not one bit. I don't like it either, she said. It's like she's become a different person lately. You've noticed it too, haven't you? I asked. Yes, she replied, and frankly, I find it a little frightening. You and me both, I said. Well, at least something good came out of it, she said. What is it? I asked. I finally got to spend an evening alone with my favorite son-in-law, she said with a sly smile. Last time I looked, I was your only son-in-law, I said. Yes, you were, but you're still my favorite, she said. So you think she's cheating on you? She asked after a few moments. I think so, I said. I'm pretty sure she is. Stupid fool, she hissed. I'll know for sure after tonight, I said. What then? If she's cheating on me, I'll divorce her, I said. She knows how I feel about infidelity. I'm really sorry to hear that, she said quietly. We arrived at the restaurant and were escorted to the table I had reserved for Carrie and me. We enjoyed our dinner and the wine that was served with it. Over the meal, we made small talk, and while I enjoyed spending time with Ginny, it wasn't what I originally had in mind, and she could sense that. Look, I know you feel bad about this, so if you want, I can take a cab and go home, Ginny said after we were done with dessert. Nonsense, I said. The restaurant also had an area set aside for drinking and slow dancing, and the band had already started playing. I mean, yeah, I'm a little uncomfortable being here alone with you since this was supposed to be Carrie and I's anniversary dinner, but that doesn't mean you're going to leave here without a dance. After all, you are the prettiest girl in this establishment. She smiled back. Thank you for the compliment, she said quietly, and yes, I would love to dance with my brother-in-law. We stood up, and I escorted her to the dance floor where we snuggled tightly together for 2 dances. I felt so good with her, and I caught myself regretting being married again. I could have easily fallen in love with this girl. After the second dance, Ginny took a step back and took my hands in hers. She looked up at me, and I saw tears in her eyes. I'm so sorry my sister did that to you, she finally said. I had a wonderful time tonight, and I really enjoy dancing with you. But I think you'd better take me home before I do something we both might regret later. After all, this was supposed to be Carrie's date, and I feel like you've been used, I asked, finishing her sentence. Yeah, something like that, she said. Don't get me wrong. I really enjoyed my time with you, and if circumstances had been better, who knows where it would have led. You're a wonderful person, and I could kill Carrie for dumping you. I would never do that to you. Thank you, Ginny, I said. I was beginning to think there was something wrong with me. There's nothing wrong with you that a good, loyal, loving woman can't fix, she said. Come on, let's get out of here. Okay, I said. We stopped at a table and the waiter took my credit card. A couple minutes later, he came back and we left the restaurant. We drove to Ginny's apartment in silence. I walked her to her door to make sure she was okay. She opened her door, then turned around and kissed me hard on the lips. Thank you for a wonderful evening, she said. I love you. Before I could say anything, she turned and left for her apartment, closing the door behind her. I stood there for a couple minutes, wondering what had just happened. I knew Ginny was in love with me, but she had never said she loved me before. I pulled myself together, walked back to my car, and drove home. I pulled into the garage, hoping Carrie was already home. I looked at my phone and saw that her phone was at a motel on the outskirts of town. It didn't take a private investigator to guess what she was probably doing. I went inside, changed into jeans and a t-shirt, and poured myself a cup of coffee. Out of curiosity, I called Ron to see what was going on. He answered after the first ringtone. What's up, bro? I asked. Well, Bill, I hate to say this, but Carrie is definitely cheating on you, he said quietly. I felt like I'd been kicked in the butt. She's in a motel on the outskirts of town right now. There are at least 5 guys with her right now. In the last hour, I'd seen men come and go. Shit, I said. Yeah, Ron said. I'm sorry, bro. I hate to be the bearer of bad news. I have plenty of video for your divorce. Thanks, I said. Any idea if she's coming home tonight? It's hard to say, Ron replied. I think she's just warming up. Look, I'll stay here a little longer, and someone will come out to cover for me. I'll send you a video from the club. That's not nice, Bill. Maybe you shouldn't look at it. I need to know, Ron, I said. I need to see it for myself. I understand. I know it may sound like a cliché, but don't do anything stupid. I don't want to bail you out of jail, Ron said. I hear you, I said. Thanks. I owe you big time. You're damn right you do, he said with a chuckle. We finished talking, and a few moments later I heard a beep letting me know that I had received an email. I opened my cell phone client and saw that Ron had sent a couple of short videos. The first video depicted Carrie in a club surrounded by a group of men. She was letting them grope and fondle herself. I hardly recognized the woman doing this. I could never imagine Carrie, whom I married, exposing herself in public. The men applauded, stood around and watched. Most of them cheered, but there was one man who stood back and watched, sipping his drink. In the following video, she was captured outside the club, in an alley. After a while, one of the men picked her up and carried her to a car. After they threw her in the back seat, the car moved off and the video ended. There were no other videos, but I knew I didn't need to watch them anymore. My marriage had broken up. There was nothing left for me to do but divorce. I looked around the house and decided to hell with it, grabbed my keys, and went to a bar near the house. I sat at the bar, drinking beer one after another and contemplating my options. I had been there for a while when I heard a man's voice next to me. "Is anyone sitting here?" I turned around and saw a well-built man about my height standing at the bar next to me. He had sand-colored hair and squinted eyes that seemed to look right through me. Something about him seemed familiar, but I couldn't remember who he was. Probably because of the long, floor-length duster he wore. I shook my head. "No, have a seat," I said. He sat down and held out his hand. "Steve Iverson," he introduced himself. I shook his hand and introduced myself. "Bill Hampton," I told him. "It's a pleasure to meet you." "Nice to meet you," he said. "So, who's winning?" he asked, nodding at the game that was playing on the big monitor above the bar. "I don't know," I answered. "I don't even know who's playing. I wasn't really paying attention." He nodded and ordered a beer for himself. After paying the bartender, he took a sip and looked at me again. "Problems with women?" he asked. "Yeah, you could say that," I agreed. "I'm sorry to hear that," he said quietly. "Wife?" "Yes," I said, "at least for the moment. Are you married?" "I was married once," he said. "A long time ago. She's dead." "I'm sorry to hear that," I told him. He shrugged. "It happens," he said. "The cycle of life and all that. We're born, we live, then we die. It happens to all of us." "Do you have children?" I asked. "2 boys," he said. "They went into the army. I haven't seen them in years. What about you? Any children?" I shook my head. "No, none," I said. "Thank God," I added, thinking. I took a big sip of beer and suddenly felt nauseous. "Are you okay?" he asked. I feel nauseous," I moaned. "Let me help you," he said. "We'll be right back," he said to the bartender. He carefully escorted me to the men's room where I bowed to the ceramic god several times. When I had thrown up everything in my stomach, he helped me to the washroom where I cleaned myself up. "Feeling better?" he asked as I wiped my face and hands. I nodded. "A little," I answered. "Maybe it's time to take you home," he said. "Come on, I'll help you." I let him lead me out of the men's room back to the bar where he bought a bottle of water. "Going to help my friend get home. Don't want to get pulled over," he told the bartender, who nodded understandingly. He walked me to my car, and for a moment I wondered how he knew which car was mine. Mostly, though, it didn't matter to me. He walked me to the passenger seat and asked for my keys. "Why?" I asked, taking them out of my pocket. "You're not fit to drive," he said. "Don't worry about me. I can walk back. Come on, get in. I'll take you home." I didn't argue. In fact, I was in no condition to argue. I got in the car, closed the door, and fastened my seatbelt. Steve got behind the wheel, adjusted the seat and rearview mirrors, and then headed for the exit. "Do you know where to go?" I asked. "Yes," he said, causing me some concern. "But first we need to stop somewhere and talk. Don't worry, you'll be fine." He pulled into a park and stopped the car. Then he took a bottle of water, opened it, and poured some onto the pavement. Slipping his hand into the pocket of his raincoat, he pulled out a small baggie, opened it, and poured something that looked like white powder into the water. He closed the bottle, shook it, and held it out to me. "Here, drink this," he said. "It will make you feel better." I took the bottle, opened it, and sniffed it before taking a sip. He grinned as I sniffed the liquid. "It's okay," he said. "An old home remedy for all ills. I use it a lot myself. Go ahead, drink it." I took a big sip from the bottle and realized I liked the taste. Citrusy with a touch of honey. I drank some more, and soon my head was clear and my stomach was no longer twisting. "Do you feel better now?" he asked. I nodded my head. "Yes," I said. "Whatever it is, maybe you should sell it. It might be a good deal." "You're not the first person to tell me that," he said. "You said we needed to talk," I said. "Yes," he said. "I want to. It's about your wife." Looking closer, I remembered where I'd seen him before. He'd been at the club watching my wife act like a cheater at her table. "Do you know about my wife?" I asked. He nodded his head. "Yes. I've been watching her for some time now." "You saw her tonight at that club, didn't you?" I asked. He nodded his head. "Yes," he said. "Tell me something, Bill. Do you remember when you started to notice a change in her?" "Yeah, it was about 3 months ago or so," I said. "That sounds about right," he said. "What do you mean?" I asked. He turned and looked at me before continuing. "You'll probably think I'm crazy, but you need to know what's going on," he said. "Yeah, I already know what's going on," I said. "My wife has turned into a cheating wife." "Yeah, but she got help," he said. "Helped? What do you mean, helped?" I asked. "She was influenced," he said. "There's something about her, something almost as old as history itself." "Wait a minute," I said. "Are you going to tell me that she was possessed by something? Come on, that's ridiculous." "Is it?" he asked. "Tell me the truth. Have you ever walked into an empty room and felt like someone or something was watching you? Have you ever had goosebumps run up and down your spine without explanation?" "Yes, but there's a logical explanation for it all," I said. "Maybe," he said. "Maybe there isn't. Maybe you just don't want to admit that there might be something out there somewhere that you can't see and that you can't or don't want to face. Call it whatever you want, a ghost, a beast, a demon. We all have them. Sometimes they exist in our nightmares. Other times they live in our fears. As a child, you often imagined that one of them was right under your bed at night. You would start screaming and your mom would come into your room, soothe your forehead with her magic touch, and the monster would disappear," he said. I stared at him in shock. How did he know this? "Your wife is under the influence of such a creature," he said. "Do you mean the devil or something like that?" I asked. "Well, I suppose from your point of view that would make as much sense as anything else," he said. "What am I supposed to do now? Just pretend it was the devil that made her do it and forgive her?" I asked. He shook his head. "This beast, for lack of a better word, didn't make her do anything," he said. "It only feeds the urges that are already there, reinforces them, justifies them in the mind." "So you're saying that this bestie just unleashed her inner cheater?" I asked. "Something like that," he said. "You seem to know a lot about this thing," I said. "That's because I've been following her for a long time. She left behind a lot of damage." "What do you want me to do? Help you capture it or something?" I asked. "You can't capture something like that," he said. "It has to be killed before it can do any more damage." "Kill it? What would that do to Carrie?" "It's hard to say," he answered me. "Sure, you can leave it where it is, but I guarantee you it will use her until it destroys her, and then it will just toss her aside and move on to the next victim. So either way, she's done. Is that what you're trying to tell me?" I asked. "I hate to say it, but it's basically her choice. Although there is a small chance that she will recover from this encounter, but she will never be completely satisfied going back to her old life. Now that she's had a taste of what the monster can offer her, she will always want more," he said. "But you can kill the creature without killing her?" I asked. "Yes," he said, "but it is still dangerous. The beast might retaliate by taking her life or doing some harm." "What should I do?" I asked. "Just stay close to me," he said. "I'll take the hard work." I heard a zing and saw him pull out a smartphone. He stared at it for a few moments and then put the phone away. "She's at your house, and she's not alone. We need to move, right now. Are you ready?" I wondered why my brother hadn't called, then remembered that someone had taken his place. "Yeah, let's do it," I said. He started the car and drove out of the park. The drive to my house only took a few minutes. When we pulled up, I saw the light on in the master bedroom upstairs. He pulled into the driveway and stopped the car. Carrie's car was already in the driveway and another car was parked in front of the house. "Be careful," Steve said. "She's not alone." "Got it," I said, taking the keys from him. I unlocked the door and we both crept inside, looking for any possible signs of danger. There was nothing, but we both heard Carrie making love to someone upstairs. I heard Carrie scream, then I heard the bed hit the wall as whoever she was with entered her. We went upstairs, and Steve was standing right outside the door when I walked in. "What the hell is going on in here?" I yelled, when I saw the teenager sleeping with Carrie on my bed. He jumped up when I yelled and looked back at me with surprise and fear on his face. "Get out of my house, you pimply-faced freak," I commanded. "Yeah, okay, mister. Please don't hurt me." "She begged for it," he muttered, gathering his clothes and heading downstairs. I turned around to look at my soon-to-be ex-wife. "Why don't you come and get a cream pie for your wedding anniversary, my faithful little cuckold?" She grinned. At that moment, she seemed really ugly, and I couldn't believe that this was the same woman I had married 5 years ago. Then her face changed as Steve entered the room. Her eyes widened, and her face seemed to change right in front of me. "You!" she screamed. "What are you doing here?" "It's time for you to leave," Steve said before saying something in an unfamiliar language. Carrie screamed, covering her ears. "I'm never leaving here," Carrie the Beast exclaimed. "I love it here. You can't make me leave. I'll use this thing for years to come before I go anywhere else." Steve slipped his hand into the pocket of his long coat and pulled out a long, broad sword. When he picked it up, it began to flare up and quickly became engulfed in flames. All the while, he continued to chant in an unknown language. "No," screamed Carrie the Beast. "I will feed your bones to my dogs, little man." "Semper Invictus," proclaimed Steve, raising his sword. He swung the sword, and I thought he was going to cut Carrie in two, but to my great surprise, he didn't. I heard screams and saw a blinding flash of light, followed by the smell of acrid smoke that now filled the entire room. Something was burning on the floor. Steve put his sword away and bent down to pick it up. He broke it into 2 pieces and the light inside it went out. "It was gone. Forever," he said. I turned to Carrie and saw her lying on the bed with her eyes wide open. Other than the bruises from the guys roughhousing her up, there were no other marks on her body. I walked over to her, hoping she was still alive. I saw her catch her breath and look up at me with tears in her eyes. "I'm sorry, Bill," she said. Then I saw a wicked grin appear on her face. But honestly, it was a lot of fun. Looking at her, I saw confusion on her face, and then one side of her face seemed to droop a little. "Carrie!" I called out. "Are you okay?" She seemed to have trouble focusing her eyes on my face, and she tried to say something but couldn't. "You better call an ambulance," Steve said. I pulled out my phone and dialed 911, telling the dispatcher that I needed an ambulance for a possible stroke victim. 20 minutes later, an ambulance pulled up to the house. Steve had left by then, and I opened the window to air out the room. The paramedics quickly examined Carrie and determined that she was having a stroke. They put her on a gurney and took her to General Hospital. I followed her in my car. Epilogue. Carrie didn't survive the trip to the hospital. I called Ginny and told her what had happened. She got to the hospital as fast as she could, and we both cried while hugging each other. We listened as the doctor expressed his condolences and asked if we wanted to do an autopsy. I told him that it wasn't necessary. Steve stopped by the hospital to see how we were doing. "I'm sorry it ended this way," he said. "Don't be," I said. "You warned me. Anyway, I think she's finished. At least it was quick and relatively painless." "Maybe," he said. "Here's my card. Feel free to call if you need to talk." He handed me the card and we shook hands before he left. "Who was that?" Jeannie asked. "A friend," I answered. After Carrie's funeral, I sold the house and bought a smaller 2-bedroom apartment closer to my work. I got rid of the bedroom furniture and most of the other things we had. I didn't want anything to remind me of her. Ron and I celebrated the move with 2 cases of beer. I still owed him for helping me with Carrie. I never told him exactly what happened. and he never insisted on it. Still, I can't escape the thought that he knew something out of the ordinary had happened in my house that night. He did suggest that I see a counselor to help me deal with everything that had happened. I took his suggestion and spent some time with the counselor he suggested. However, I quickly realized that it was a colossal waste of time. Oddly enough, I caught myself looking under the bed a couple times. I wasn't sure what I would find, but I felt the need to look anyway. Ginny respected my need to grieve and left me alone for a while. After a few months, however, I felt the need for female companionship. I had always liked Ginny, and I knew she was still in love with me. So I called her one Friday afternoon and was surprised to find that she was home watching a movie. We started dating and have spent nights together on more than one occasion. She says she loves me, and I believe her. Truth be told, I'm falling in love with her too. Who knows what the future holds for us? For now, however, I'm more than satisfied. But I'm still keeping my ear to the ground. I have the beast on my shoulder and the devil behind me. I can feel his scalding breath, the smoke coming from his pipe, and he moves under the blanket or lies under the bed. He's a beast on your shoulder. There is a bounty on his head. The end.